Disclaimer: sound therapy is not a substitute for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment from a physician or healthcare professional. Sound healing can complement some medical treatments. Please check with your doctor or healthcare professional about using sound therapy to complement medical treatment. Do not discontinue or suspend medical treatment without the consent of your doctor or healthcare professional. This is a short instruction video on how this type of vocal sympathetic resonance system works, or the VSR system for short. Let's start off by using the piano keyboard to begin to explain this. Normally pianos have 88 keys. Here we're only going to show off a few keys to keep it simple and compact. Each of these 88 keys have their own separate note or sound frequencies, which is measured in hertz. As you see here, I have the keys labeled, and if I play one, their corresponding note value shows up here, and their frequency value shows right here. Once again, A4, A4, and as you can see, this is the frequency 441 or 440 hertz approximately for their frequency, or for its frequency. Each of these individual notes or sound frequencies can make up chords. An example of a chord would be a C major chord, which is comprised of a C4, E4, and G4. And when you combine all these, you get a C major chord, and it sounds like this. Now the C4 chord is 261.6 hertz or so, approximately, as you can see here by the cursor. And if we go to E4, it's around 329, 330. And a G4 is about 393, 392. And once again, if you combine all these notes or sound frequencies, this is what it sounds like. This now brings us to explaining to what exactly is a harmonic. A harmonic is basically, in this graphic here, is if we start off with 440 hertz, all you have to do is basically double that number. So if we start with 440, we will get to the second harmonic by doubling it, which would make that 880. To triple it, 1320, and the fourth harmonic, 1760. Whereas a piano has 88 keys, a person's vocal sympathetic resonant keys or individual notes will vary depending on the vocal snapshot or audio wave file that is sent into us. The Vocal Sympathetic Resonance System, or VSR, we use calculates personal resonant notes, or PR-N. An example would be in the note A4. Here on a regular Yamaha grand piano, it's approximately 440 hertz. Now A4 would represent a different PR-N, or personal resonant note, based on your vocal snapshot. So if we go to an example of a personal resonant note snapshot preset and do the same note, notice how we get something completely different. Once again, a Yamaha grand piano, A4, 440 Hertz approximately. Then your personal resonant note calculated from the file you sent in to us and how that actually sounds. And moving on to personal resonant chords, or PR-C, would be made of personal resonant notes, or PR-N. Like a C major chord is made up of 3 notes: C4, E4, and G4. Your personal resonant notes also make up personal resonant chords. So, to test that, we do C4 for your personal resonant note, E4, and G4. Now, to make a personal resonant chord as a C major chord, this is what that sounds like. And next we have a personal resonant harmonic, or PR-H. Would be twice the harmonic of the PR-N, or personal resonant note. Just like A3 is approximately 220 Hertz, the harmonic of A3 would be A4, which would be approximately 440 Hertz. So the same is also true if we use your personal resonant notes to get a personal resonant harmonic. So this is what it would sound using the A3. And a harmonic of that would be the A4. And please note that there's an entire scale. Creation of the Vocal Sympathetic Resonance file, or VSR for short. How do we create your file using this type of Vocal Sympathetic Resonance system, or VSR? 1. We take the audio file you send to us and we run various calculations on the file using fast Fourier transforms, or FFT, to calculate the personal resonant notes, or PR-N, found in the file. 2. We then create the personal resonant chords, or PR-C, along with the personal resonant harmonics, PR-H. And finally, we then assemble these files and send it back to you. Okay, in this video we're going to show you or give an example of what the type of file you would send to us and the type of file we would send back to you. So let's go ahead and bring the file that you would send to us, what that would actually sound or sound like. It could be a mantra, affirmation, or a combination of mantra and affirmation. The things we require is that the file be at least 44/100 hertz, the sampling size that is. It could be mono or stereo, or 16-bit or 32-bit float. This file is just a mantra. Let's go ahead and play that. Om Ame Di Li Gong Zhong Hom. Ame Di Li Gong Zhong Hom. Okay, and that's the type of file you would send to us, which would be approximately between 35 and 40 seconds in length. And we will start the next video dealing with the file that we would send back to you and what that actually would sound like and what that would actually look like. In this video, we're going to demonstrate the type of file we would send back to you and what it actually sounds like. Okay, the file we send back to you is in stereo, and the sample rate is 44.1 kHz or 44/100 hertz. And keep in mind the resonance or the resonances we send back to you in this file more than likely won't be the same resonances you hear in this particular video, due to the fact that each person has their own resonant file or own resonant frequencies. So what you hear in this video more than likely won't be what you hear in the file we actually send back to you, because each specific file is calculated to the file you send to us. So each time it's geared to that particular person. Let's go ahead and play that. And normally the length of the file we send back to you is around 20 minutes, but that can be adjusted. Okay, and that's the type of file or the way it would sound generally when we send it back to you. In conclusion, my goal is to not only stimulate the system using sympathetic resonances, but also to open up the system. By using resonances to gently rock the system back and forth, this should allow the opening up or freeing of movement in the system. Much like that of freeing a car stuck in the mud, this should allow the natural flow of the system to once again take place. The conductor. You can play 88 keys on a piano, but there are an infinite amount of unplayed and unseen keys or notes between these 88 keys. Remember how to play the unplayed, and remember how to see the unseen, for a grand symphony orchestra is patiently awaiting their conductor. Now, excuse me while I go compose my magnum opus using the unseen and unplayed keys.